What's going on, everyone? Welcome in here to the Bettor Sports Betting Show on Bettor Sports Network and Fantasy Alarm YouTubes. Wherever you guys are watching, we always appreciate you jumping in with us and talk some sports betting. And I got James Grande with me, always on Thursday afternoons here on the BSB Show. What's up, man?
What's going on? That was the first live experience I've had with the new intro, and
It's pretty fire, huh?
it's pretty good. I was hoping your face would pop out of that money case right there at the end, just like you or like you're holding the case or something, you know. But it was 10 out of 10 production. I know Adam didn't do it, but
Yeah.
shout out to Brian Burns and the network. Adam wishes he could do something. Shout out
Yeah,
to our
I'm
producer
not
for
skilled.
Shout out to our producer today, Adam
Shout out to
Bernard.
all of them. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, shout
Adam
out to all of them.
keeps us rolling on this show. So without him, we'd be pretty lost. But for all of you out there, yeah, this is it's a pretty sick open, and we're awesome to have it. We're covering a little bit of everything on today's show. We got obviously Thursday night football, Patriots Steelers. Get hyped for this game. We'll be giving out some bets and props for it, of course, but. We got NBA in-season tournament tonight, so James will have some best bets for that one. NHL to wrap up the show from our producer Adam Bernard, giving some picks out for tonight's slate, and then the Army-Navy game is Saturday. Usually on these Thursday shows, I give out some college football bets and picks, but we only got one game this week with the Army-Navy game, so we'll be giving out my best bet for that game. So stay tuned for all of it, and if you got any of your own picks or props or predictions, anything that you want to throw at us, throw them in the chat here on YouTube if you're watching along. So let's get right into Thursday night football. Patriots Steelers should be an awesome game to watch. Hopefully. Patriots, though, 6-point underdogs or 5.5, wherever you're looking on the sports books out there, on the road here to Pittsburgh. Low total 30 is the over under here. I think I saw, I don't know about officially, but I think it's the lowest total since like 1993 or something. It's pretty low, and who knows by kickoff if we see money coming in on the under, it might even drop lower. So who knows? But before we give any bets out for this game, any overall thoughts going into this? We got Mitch Trubisky starting for Pittsburgh, so that's a thing.
I mean, not much to add other than it's not a great football game. I mean, it is hilarious that we sit here and we're like, wow, this game stinks and whatever. And we have a team that's 7-5 involved in this game. Like
Right.
Pittsburgh, like firmly in the hunt. Like they are potentially gonna play in the postseason this year. And like you wouldn't expect it just based on everything we're seeing. 30 over under, only 5.5 point favorites to a team who's scored like 6 points in the last 3 weeks. It's like that's where we are with the Steelers. And even after they fired their offensive coordinator, things just aren't really going that well. So not a lot else, Servo. It's gonna be I'm as a hoop fan, obviously I'm happy that there is basketball on to watch
Yeah,
because I personally don't like to torture myself. So I will probably watch more basketball than I will football, but there is like this weird time thing between like the two in-season tournament games where it starts at 5 and then the second game's at 9. So I have a 45-minute window where I could watch, and I'll probably make sure my son stays up longer, extend his make it bedtime later so I don't have to watch.
I feel you. Yeah, that first game starting at 5 Eastern, right after we wrap up this show. So I know, at least, you got to we're going to give out your picks for that game, but right after we get off, that game will be starting up soon. Why, real quick on that, why the heck are they doing that? Why isn't the first game at, 7 or 8 o'clock and then the later game at like 10:30? I mean, I don't understand.
I haven't exactly done my due diligence, but I'm assuming it's because they're doing this like Las Vegas thing where the Final Four teams they're all playing in Las Vegas. So 9 o'clock is like a reasonable time to see
I guess they
a basketball game.
yeah, and they want enough turnover in between the games, so they don't have a situation if like the game goes into overtime or whatnot.
Well, also because maybe I mean football is king, so
Probably
they're
trying
like
to
trying
plan
to
around.
probably
Yeah,
balance.
they get the first game all done
Trying
in between before the kickoff for Thursday Night Football. Yeah,
and then like the timing, it's like, okay, well, I can't make the game too late because then I will lose the East Coast audience. But let's try to time it to where the NFL game's at halftime. So maybe we'll get some of that audience when it's 3-0 at half. They'll switch over to us and look at our cool courts and be like, ah, yes, I'll watch this. So maybe like I think what Adam just said in the chat, the East Coast part is definitely
Mhm.
correct. The East Coast can see the second game. That's 100% correct. I do think baked in there somewhere is how do we steal some of the NFL's audience, or how do we avoid the NFL because we know what their audience is versus everyone
And
else's.
shout out to our producer Adam Bernard throwing in our chat here on YouTube that you all can see right now. Quick little tidbit for tonight's game. We're talking about this over under at 30. There hasn't been a total under 30. Yeah, as I said, since December 93 when it was a cold temperature game. 28 was the over under Colts Patriots in New England. Temperatures in the low 20s with 20 plus mile per hour winds there. I don't. So there is some like weather concerns around the NFL this weekend, but I don't think like the weather is gonna be terrible for this game. I mean, it might be a little bit windy, a little bit cold. We're up in Pittsburgh, but like I don't think it's the weather it isn't as much of an impact on this total being low as much as it is like these two
Oh,
offenses and two pretty good defenses too. So that's basically why it's so low scoring. We're gonna give out props for this. I got a pick on this game. I'm going Patriots, and I'm going the +6 because I think that is like a key number. I feel like it could be, a couple field goal. I don't see many touchdowns being scored in this, so I like getting the 6 there. If it is at 5.5, like the spread overall, but you can easily find some alt lines and -120 on BetMGM is the +6. Naturally, I just look at these underdogs in low total games. Over the years, I think it's, the past 5 years or so, it's about a 60% cover rate for underdogs in games with totals, in the 30s or below, which is what we have here in this season, too. It's the trend has kept going here, about 60% cover rate for these underdogs in low total games. So that instantly had me to the Patriots. But honestly, I just, as bad as the offense is for New England with Bailey Zappi under center now instead of Mac Jones, as bad as it is, their defense is pretty solid still. And I think it's going to keep them in this game and limit, the Patriot or the Steelers side of things, which, it's a Mitch Trubisky led offense. He's prone to turnovers. And overall, it should be a run heavy atmosphere for both sides. Which is going to keep this low scoring. But specifically on the Steelers side of things, I think with Trubisky now there, I feel like they're going to lean a lot on Warren. Najee Harris, expected to play with that knee injury, but him and Jalen Warren probably going to see a lot of carries in this. So I'm going to the Patriots here. I'm not feeling great about it, but I think this spread is just a little too big. Given a little too much respect and disrespect on both sides here. And I look back at, an interesting stat here. Mitch Trubisky at home with the Steelers and Bears has not been as strong as against the spread. His last 15 home starts when he's been with the Steelers and Bears, 3-10-2 against the spread. So he does not cover well. Maybe the Steelers pull out this win and win it outright, but I think the +6, you can, if you want to do +5.5, I think anything honestly under, like if you can get +3.5, I feel like it could be like a field goal win or something for the Steelers. But yeah, give me the Pats here.
I mean, just like there is a chance that this is just a because if I had to lean on the, we neither of us took the over under in this game.
Staying away
I would
from
take
that.
the under. Honestly, I would take the
I
under
probably would
just
too.
based on how these two offenses and like in that scenario, unless it's Pittsburgh 24-0 or whatever it's going to be, I don't see either team getting too far ahead just based
Yeah.
on how these offenses are, and you alluded to it defensively. So I do like Patriots +6. I also think to stay on the Patriots side of things, and I'll just go into my Patriots pick. I don't think they're going to score a lot in the first half here, Servo. Under 6.5 points, -120 over on BetMGM tonight, just to keep on the Patriots side of things. I mean, like their last 3 games total. We're talking about the first half. Their last 3 games total. I mean, 6, 7, and 0 points. 1 touchdown over that span. And like Bailey Zappi's been in 2 of those games. It's just I don't know really what to say about how bad it is. There's no Ramondre Stevenson in this game, obviously. They're going to rely on Ezekiel Elliott heavily, and he's averaging less than 4 yards a carry on the season. Like an advanced age in terms of NFL years, Ezekiel Elliott, that's who they're going to rely on. So, if they score a touchdown in the first half, I would honestly be really surprised against the Steelers defense. The Steelers defense has been pretty good overall in general. I mean, they force a lot of turnovers. Obviously, they are maybe the best pass rusher in the game in TJ Watt that can wreak havoc on defenses. And with the way that New England has turned the ball over, I mean, Pittsburgh 12 interceptions is 5th in the league to begin with. So I don't like the Patriots at all tonight. I mean, I don't like this game in general, but I'm going under 6.5 first half points for the New England Patriots this evening. This is, you know what? Like as someone who covers college football, I feel like I'm into like, I mean, we were talking about for whatever reason we were talking about Iowa before the show, but I feel like this is what it is to like bet an Iowa game. You know, like this is how I feel.
Yeah, this was 6.5 was their total. Team total over under for the Big Ten championship game against Michigan, and they went under it. They got they got shut out in that game. So sometimes it's just profitable to bet the unders on team totals and first half team totals for these bad offenses, that whether it's college or NFL. I mean, even though I have the Patriots covering the spread for the full game, I do think it could be at halftime it could easily just be like a 7-3, lead for the Steelers or something like that. Like it's not going to be pretty. Staying on the Patriots side of things here, I'm gonna go with, you mentioned Stevenson out, Ezekiel Elliott now the lead back for the Patriots. He hasn't been efficient, but I still think he's going to get carries. He's going to get a lot of carries in this game, and I'm going over his rush attempts, over 16.5 at BetMGM. When Bailey Zappi's been under center these past few games now, the Pats offense has gone more run heavy than when it was with Mac Jones. In the previous 2 games before last week, Stevenson saw 20 and 21 carries. And then last week, Stevenson and Zeke combined for 26 carries as like the co-lead backs after Ramondre went out and Zeke took on the lead back role. So, and Zeke Elliott had 17 carries last week after Stevenson got hurt, even though he didn't get the full workload. They were just feeding him a lot, and they fed Stevenson before that. I think it's going to be a similar thing here. Before he was only getting like 7 to 10 carries per game in that secondary role. And as you said, he hasn't been efficient with it, but it's kind of one of the only, one of the only avenues for the Patriots offense at this point to try to lean on the run game, and limit any turnovers from Zappi. So, and I think the Steelers defense, if they had a weakness at all, I think their run defense is slightly worse than the pass defense. So you kind of keep that in mind. And in terms of, allowing lead backs to have, get a lot of carries this year, interesting trend here. They're allowing 28 carries per game overall this year. So that's, full team rushing workloads, 28 carries per game. But Zeke is probably going to see a large bulk of that, I expect, because no other running back has gotten snaps this year but for the Patriots besides Stevenson and Zeke so far. we'll see, like, if anybody else touches the ball, get some carries, but I think it's gonna be a lot of Ezekiel Elliott. As long as he's healthy right now, he's the guy now with Stevenson out. And the Steelers, another interesting trend here. The Steelers have faced a lot of split backfields this year, but when it's been a clear lead running back against them, every one of them has gone over this 16.5 rush attempts. And there've been multiple instances where it was 20 plus carries for the lead back. So I think the trend just kind of points to Zeke getting a large workload here in terms of rushing.
So we're gonna I don't disagree that there is definitely a really good path based on everything you just laid out to get Zeke the carries. Maybe he does get the carries and he still hits the under. I don't like, and you're completely correct in your analysis. Like, the Pittsburgh Steelers have been susceptible to the run a little bit more this year than they have against the pass. I just don't like this game environment for Zeke. We just saw it last week. He got a lot of carries against a far worse defense in the Los Angeles Chargers against the run. And he 17 carries, 52 yards, 3.1 carries. He has, again, and you brought it up, he has been settling into 7 to 10 carries a game. This could be a game where they are forced to throw the ball a little bit more, because I just don't see an avenue where they're scoring much. And not to say they're going to be far behind Pittsburgh at all at any point in the game, but we saw Zeke kind of take a step forward in the passing game too. I expect that to continue. A lot of dump offs to Ezekiel Elliott. I'm going under the rushing yards. He's gone over once this year. We saw at the end of his Dallas tenure last year, his final 7 games, he went under this, and in all but one of them, he had double-digit carries. He's just not that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that meme, but hey, I'm not that guy, pal. That's what Zeke is. He's not that guy. And, this just naturally happens to running backs. He's going to play every snap, seemingly. Maybe we see Ty Montgomery mix in. Maybe they are activating Jermichael Hasty, but give me the under Ezekiel Elliott, 58.5 rushing yards. I really don't like this at all.
Listen, I wasn't, I didn't say he's efficient with his touches. I'm fine if he goes under his rushing yards, as long as he gets 17 plus carries here, which I think is very.
Boy, what a game that would be!
It happened, as you said, it happened last week. He got the touches, but he wasn't doing a whole lot with it. He's not an explosive guy anymore. So
no.
He's more of a plodding running back. In our chat here, throw in any bets that you got for tonight's games. Adrian Carter. Pittsburgh, he's just thrown out there. He likes Pittsburgh, I guess, in this game. Listen,
or maybe he's from Pittsburgh. Maybe he's from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Bohi Kabud. Yo, what's up? Thanks for tuning in here.
Nailed it, sir.
Yo. All right, I'm going to the Steelers side of things here. I don't think it's gonna be great offensively for them either, but I think there's value here. Deontay Johnson, 5+ receptions. It's plus 109 on Caesars. I just think, Trubisky. So I went back and looked last year when Trubisky played in 5 games. Deontay Johnson had at least 6 catches in every single game that Trubisky started. Had 10, 6, 8, 6, and 7 catches in those games. He was a top target in the offense with Trubisky under center, and it was clear he was a favorite receiver for Trubisky. And last week he had he started to get some more targets and catches when Trubisky came into the game with Pickett after Pickett left early. Earlier this year, when Trubisky filled in for Pickett, Johnson had a season high in catches and targets, 8 receptions on 14 targets. So I think this is an interesting trend here where he's looking Johnson's way more often than not when Trubisky's been in there. And Johnson only has 5+ catches in 3 of 8 games this year. So it's not a great track record for this prop, but I'm kind of changing my expectation and thinking on that with Trubisky under center, obviously, but with Matt Canada gone, I think it's just has helped the offense overall. We've seen the past couple games. Just a little bit better passing attack for sure. So, I think Deontay Johnson can get his at least 5 catches in this game. He's had 10 plus targets in 4 of those 5 Trubisky starts last year. And the Patriots are stronger against the run than the pass in general this season. So could be a little bit more, Trubisky trying to make plays through the air. And I think he's got a little bit of rapport other than other guys with Johnson in that offense. So yeah, give me his receptions prop.
I think that is super coincidental here, Servo,
Oh, yeah?
because during those same 5 games that Mitchell Trubisky started last year, one George Pickens had 3 receptions or less in every single game.
Wow.
Under with Mitchell Trubisky under center. So naturally, Vegas, being smart and on the ball, set the reception prop for George Pickens at 3.5 tonight, and I am full sweep under. That is, I am taking 3 unders today. That has probably never happened. It probably will never happen again. Minus 160 over on BetMGM for George Pickens to go under 3.5 receptions, because you just pointed it out. Deontay Johnson has been his number 1 target every time he stepped on the field. We saw a big game out of Pat Freiermuth when Trubisky stepped onto the field. And George Pickens did have 4 receptions last game. He did play with Kenny Pickett a little bit, but he has not done this with a Mitchell Trubisky start to date. It's not going to happen tonight in this game against the Patriots. He had big catches in those games. He had 80 yards on 2 catches. He had 55 yards on 2 catches. Trubisky was looking for him deep and not a lot. It was all Deontay Johnson intermediate. We know that is more Mitchell Trubisky than it is driving the ball down the field. It is short intermediate routes. And we know George Pickens is someone who goes down the field vertically. So it is going to be Deontay Johnson heavy, Freiermuth heavy. And as good as George Pickens is, he's kind of been the one left out of all the fun when Mitchell Trubisky's been the starting quarterback. So under 3.5 receptions, minus 160, not the best odds, but I really, really like that. If you're placing bets on this game, Deontay Johnson is the guy. George Pickens is not.
I'm glad we're agreeing on that one.
Yeah.
Because the Pickens connection has been a thing, and then it's been Trubisky and Deontay Johnson in the past. So yeah, I think that he knows he can trust Deontay, and it isn't looking Pickens' way a lot. Deontay is also more the possession receiver, can catch some easier completions for Trubisky, where Pickens kind of needs more downfield throws to get his yards and catches.
Right.
So Mulroyd in the chat here saying, man, I've been comparing the Steelers to Penn State. That is pretty accurate. I like that because it's coincidental, I guess, because they're both from the same part of Pennsylvania and the state of PA. But both teams this year, if you paid attention to Penn State, they had 2. They leaned on the run a lot. Had 2 good running backs. That's basically what the Steelers have: Jalen Warren and Najee Harris. A below average quarterback situation at Penn State. Same thing with Pittsburgh, and then a good defense for both teams too. And I guess so. We're saying Pittsburgh is Penn State. Is New England, I guess, Iowa in this situation? So
probably that's a good one.
We got a Penn State Iowa game. These teams played already.
Big 10 matchup.
These teams played already this year. It was a 31-0 Penn State win. So I hope that's not the case, because I got Patriots +6 in this.
and we both said we'd take the under, so that would hit the over would hit.
That would hit the over. Yep. We'll see. If that's true, Mulroyd, then it could be an interesting game to watch tonight.
Yeah, interesting is the way to phrase that one, for sure.
All right, that's it. That's it for bets and props for this Thursday night football game. Just enough to get some action going. And we are gamifying Thursday night football on the BettorCast app again tonight. So you can compete in our free contest by answering pregame questions about Patriots Steelers in the BettorCast app right now. Then test your NFL knowledge by predicting what will happen live in real time, along with our own Howard Bender, who will be hosting during the game in this BettorCast for Thursday night football. No purchase or subscription necessary. It's always free to play. win tickets. The more questions you answer, the more tickets you win for redeemed for authentic NFL signed gear and collectibles. You can download the BettorCast app for free in the Apple app and Google Play stores, or scan that QR code right on the screen right now. And you must be at least 18 years of age to play. Moroyd also chiming in here about Patriots Steelers tonight. I never bet scores. This is funny because I was just thinking this right when we said, Steelers or Iowa Penn State was a 31-0 game. Moroyd says, I never bet scores, but tonight I'm trying for a few for the first half. Steelers 3-0 over the Pats, 7-0, 7-3, 6-0. Yeah, those are some juicy payouts if you can nail a correct score in the first half. James is on the under on the Patriots 6.5 first half team total. So if you think they get shut out or only have a field goal in the first half, and the Steelers probably aren't scoring much either, then it's probably going to be one of those scores that he puts there on the screen. 3-0, 7-0, 7-3. Yeah, 6-3 is another one. You could probably nail one of those if you want to, put a dollar or two on some of those exactos. That's funny. If you want to do the full game score, then why not do that? All right. How about some NBA tonight, James? We got the NBA in-season tournament, and the first game tipping off in just about a half hour here. 5 p.m. Eastern is the first game today, and then tonight it's 9 p.m. Eastern for the second one. So let's start with that first one over in the East. Pacers Bucks, right, is the first game. Where are you going with this one? Any bets you like?
Yeah, I got 2 for this game. One, I put together a little parlay, nothing too crazy. Bucks money line. I think the Bucks win outright tonight. I love the run the Pacers have been on, and I think seeing the Pacers and the Pelicans in this Final Four is exactly to a T what the NBA wanted to happen for this in-season tournament, to give now, like, obviously the Bucks and the Lakers, 2 teams that are thought of highly to, win the Larry O'Brien at the end of the year and win or face each other in the finals or whatnot. But teams like the Pacers and the Pelicans, can they go, you never know, but these are 1-game situations versus if Indiana had to play Boston last game in a 7-game series, I think all of us would say, okay, they won the game 1, but are they going to lose 4 in a row? Possibly. Like, it's tough to. So I think seeing this stuff has been great. But I do think their Cinderella run comes to an end. I don't know if you saw that the over under in that game, Servo. It opened at 254.5. It has now been bet up to 257.5.
Oh my god!
I mean, the Pacers games just keep the gift that keeps on giving. And I guess that's why you're putting them on at 5:00. Like, hey, by the way, there's gonna be 300 points scored tonight. Come over and watch. But I do like the Bucks here, minus 200. But to minus 200 isn't the best. So I'm getting the parlay with Damian Lillard over 35 PRA, points, rebounds, and assists. He has done this in 7 straight games. It took a little bit of feeling out for this team, and they have hit their stride. 7 straight, and 10 of his last 11, he has gone over 35 PRA. And we know Dame can do that in just points, but he has been a great facilitator this year. He's been a very good, consistent rebounder for this team. So Bucks money line, Damian Lillard over 35.5 PRA, minus 120 over on BetMGM is the first pick for this game. And then I like Malik Beasley to continue his absolute assault from 3 this year. It started off like a little slow. Again, I think it was in general just kind of a feeling out process for Milwaukee in general, because Drew Holiday and Damian Lillard are 2 very different styles of play. One is an offensive assassin in Lillard, and one is thought after as like the best defensive or perimeter defender in the league in Drew Holiday. Took them a little while. Also took Malik Beasley a little while to find his footing. Malik Beasley, over his last 5 games, made threes, 6, 4, 5, 4, 4. Over that span, he has shot 47% from three. He has now raised his season average to 46% from three. And over that span, 33, 39, 41, 38, 36 minutes per game. The Bucks are just playing their starters. They're just playing Malik Beasley, who got off to a slow start, because all he's doing is creating space. When you play with Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo, they're going to draw a lot of attention. I don't know if you heard of either of those guys, but they are very good. Malik Beasley just has to stand there and make threes, and he's done a lot of that. So over 3.5 made threes for Malik Beasley tonight, minus 130 on BetMGM for the first game on tonight's instance.
That total is wild. That
Insane.
Every time you come on here and you talk NBA, you're always talking about the Pacers games and how they're going to over.
I mean,
just call them the fast Pacers, huh?
Ooh, dude, I mean, they like nice. Yes. See, this is I feel responsible for that joke, because like I don't know if you would make that joke if I wasn't here.
I might not. I know you. I know you can appreciate a good dad joke, so.
I love a good dad joke, and like I'll get a lot of crap from all the other hosts about them. You know, John.
I'm with you on the dad jokes. You should talk to.
They're great.
My wife is sick of me for these dad jokes, so.
Same. Not you, my wife.
Oh, she's not sick of me. Okay.
No, yeah. But yeah, Pelicans Lakers, second game of the night, 9 p.m. 4-hour window in between, whatever. I only have one bet. I'm looking at the big man, Jonas Valanciunas, for New Orleans, and I know it's typically a tough matchup against the Lakers. But all I've ever wanted for Jonas Valanciunas is consistent minutes, because he is a very good basketball player when given just time on the floor. Even despite like having a three-headed monster in Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, and CJ McCollum, a lot of their offenses can and is run through Jonas Valanciunas in the post. He's a very good post player. Points prop set at 13.5. He's hit this in 5 straight games. And although the Lakers are a good defensive team, this is a very good paced environment, a little paced up spot for the Pelicans as well. The Lakers are 11th in pace, so more offensive possessions. Valanciunas, 29, 36, 31, 32, 30 minutes over the last 5 games, as I mentioned, like just playing, and that's all we can ask for, because anytime he plays, he is productive. I would also, I don't have the number in front of me, I pulled it down, but I also considered Valanciunas double-double prop, which he's done in 3 straight games. If you wanted to get involved there, I think I'm not going to say a lock for it, but minus 110 on the yes is the second best odds in this game. So I like Jonas Valanciunas to score a lot. I like him to rebound a lot. So that would be that's my primary bet from this second game tonight for the in-season.
I do not have any insights on these games. I rely on you for the betting and the props, but I'm putting in a parlay here with these 2 games, and it's the money lines for both the Bucks and the Lakers here, because the NBA wants Giannis versus LeBron for the final in-season, for the first in-season tournament championship, and for this final game of the tournament. Our producer seems like he agrees. I'm more worried, obviously, about the Lakers side of things, because they are just small favorites. But you know, we saw a little interesting whistle in that last game against the Suns to really help cement a Lakers win. I could see a little, some pregame calls with the league office that make sure the Lakers are going to win this, right?
Yeah, I mean, I saw
not
suggesting
there was anything nefarious going on, but
no corruption. What's the referee's?
Tim Donaghy.
He's not walking through that door. Tim Donaghy not walking through that door.
No.
Hopefully Scott Foster not on the call.
I was gonna say who's ref of the night game, though.
Yeah, that is a good point. At least we know if it was Scott Foster, we wouldn't have. Chris Paul's not involved, so we know there won't be Chris Paul won't be ejected. I definitely think you're right. Lakers Bucks would definitely be the best ratings. I definitely think they wanted Pelicans Pacers to be in this game, in this scenario, oh, well, look at this great run by the Pacers, look at this great run by the Pelicans, but it's derailed by the Lakers and the Bucks. So,
guess who is the crew chief for the Lakers game?
Is it Scott Foster?
Yes.
It is Scott Foster?
Yes.
I mean, of course. We have to have the Scott Foster show. Look up LeBron. I wonder
Yeah, what's
LeBron.
LeBron's
We could
props
probably
at?
find LeBron James ATS with Scott Foster ref.
That's probably available out there. For what it's worth,
come back.
For what it's worth,
come back.
James
We'll
Williams is the crew chief for Indiana Milwaukee. I don't know if that matters at all.
Doesn't move the needle. Does not move the needle. Wait, okay, I got something here, Servo.
Okay.
This can't be. This has to be fraudulent. Okay, never mind. I'm not about to be trolled.
Why?
I just saw an account that said LeBron has never lost a postseason game reffed by Scott Foster. But that's not true. There's just a fake account. I almost got duped, but I clicked into it and I saw that I almost got ball sack sports. Okay. That's basically what almost happened, and nobody wants to be ball sack sports. Okay.
I know.
Just saying. I mean, we've all seen ball sack sports everywhere. I'm not breaking any news.
You almost
here,
got fake wojed on that.
Yeah, you almost got fake wojed. Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
I can't find it either. I was trying to look around too, but if anybody has it out there that you can throw at us, LeBron's record or against the spread record with Scott Foster as the ref, wouldn't put it past the NBA to pull some strings there. By the way, for today's games, again, the first game's tipping off in about 20 minutes now, so get these bets in now, and DFS lineups too, and you can find some top picks. And you guys had a video preview, right, for today's game, you and John?
Yep.
Okay, so you check that out on fantasyalarm.com right now. But all of Fantasy Alarm's content for this week in NFL, DFS, NHL, NBA, DFS. We got college basketball DFS this weekend, some awesome slates. Get all of it with the Fantasy Alarm All-Pro subscription if you haven't already done so. Use promo code Let's Go for 50% off the first month with this All-Pro subscription. But obviously, you can get access to our Discord, one-on-one expert access and questions answered in the Discord. But all the tools that we have for DFS, for season long, for pretty much every sport. I know this weekend, we got some UFC, we got some Premier League content that we'll be having out there. So get on now with the Fantasy Alarm All-Pro subscription. All right, this weekend, only one college football game on the schedule. It's Army-Navy, the Army-Navy game. Got to bring in our producer, Aaron Bernard, because I think he's decked out in a little Army gear. Yeah, there he is.
There we go. Yeah.
I think we can tell who he's supporting in this game, right, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, clearly I'm rooting for Navy. No, I mean, so like I'm not a huge college football fan, but my dad and I used to go up to games at West Point up at Mikey Stadium, which is like, and I haven't been to like a traditional college football game like at the Big House or Neyland Stadium or something like that, but it's such a cool, unique experience that if you're in the the area of West Point, everybody should go check that out. It was really cool, and I root for Army. I keep an eye on them, and it's Go Army beat Navy week. So there you go.
There you go. Yeah. Listen, I know I've never been tied to a side, but beat Air Force 2 is the pin. I've never been tied to a side, but I know how intense the vibes get about go Army beat Navy or on the other side of that. So I've always been a huge fan of this game because more often than not, as long as I've been alive, they've been playing in Philly at the Eagles Stadium. So it's always been cool to see that like on TV, especially when it's a snow game or something. Just been an awesome game to watch. Even though it's not always high scoring, it's a fun game. If you like football, this is defense. This is guys, just lining up, hitting each other every single play. It's just the raw form of football, which if you're a pure football fan, who cares about scoring? So
and it's a game that'll probably end in a clean 3 hours with three and change. That's not a game that's going to go long because it's 48-40.
They're going to keep it going. They're going to get this over with. Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to worry about a 5-hour college football game with that. All right. So it's a tight spread. Go Army beat Navy. Tight spread here. 2.5, I think, is the spread currently. It's been going back and forth between 3, 2.5. for Army being favored in this. The total is at 27.5. Most places out there. And this is going to be one of the lowest totals, if this is where it finishes, in college football history. And it's just crazy that it's gotten that way. James, though, I got a pick for you. I am going over 26.5. You can get this at minus 140 on BetMGM. I'm going down a point here because 27 is a key number. It's so the last over the last handful of years, there's been a number of Army Navy games that have actually finished with exactly 27 points, whether it's been like a 14-13 final or a 17-10 final. So the 27 is honestly a very key number in this. So I want to get the over 26.5. And I think it's worth it. Minus 140 on BetMGM is not that bad at all. So interesting here. Normally, you look at Army Navy or any service academy games, Air Force Navy, Air Force Army. The under has been a profitable way to go. The under's cash, I think it's like close to 80% over like the past 20 years. These games, it's triple option offenses. It's teams that are very, the rivalry is a lot higher than some other college football rivalries. The defenses are dialed in. They know how to defend the triple option. So these games, and it's the clock is running the whole time, as we were saying. It's a quick game because of all the running, and there's not a lot of incompletions or the clock stopping. Especially now with today's rules with the clock stopping with first downs and all that, in the final 2 minutes. There's not going to be that. But I'm going over here because get this, as low as this total is, it's gotten too low for me. Okay. The totals over the years, they've been dropping because the under keeps cashing. Last year was the first time in the previous 17 years that the over cashed. The over cashed last year. The previous 16 years was all unders in this game. And last year, honestly, the over cashed. But the only reason it cashed was because the game went to double overtime. So they would not have hit the over if it didn't cash last year.
Right.
But I'm still going over because the total has gotten a little too low for me. If it was at like 30, I might go under. But 27.5, and I'm going to 26.5 to get the over. I'm going there because as low scoring as these games are, 12 of the last 13 Army Navy games have seen at least 27 points scored. And I mentioned a lot of those, a few of those have been exactly 27. So I think the 26.5, getting under that, the key number is huge here. 12 of the last 13 Army Navy games have been at least 27 points or more. 21 of the last 23 Army Navy games have had at least 27 points. So I'm going on the slight over here. I think the big thing, though, with this, I mentioned a lot of these games in the past have been, in Philadelphia. They played at, the Ravens Stadium. But a lot of the games, because they play here in December, it's been some bad weather games. It's been some, snow games. But they're also been played on grass. This game, it's the first time they're playing at Gillette Stadium, the Patriots Stadium. It's on turf, first of all, which I think just helps any game go over with the faster track for these athletes. But it's also the weather is not going to be a bad weather game. The temperatures expected in the 50s for this game. It's going to be pretty warm for this Army Navy game than we're used to. So it could be a sneaky little over here. So that's where I'm going. Obviously, the trends all point to the under, but I think this total is just a touch too low now for me.
I go Army, beat Navy. That's all I got. I mean, I played their golf course a lot when I was younger. Yep. I played the Army golf course, right up the road. I'm from that area, so lot of golf. When I would get the discount, even when I was too old, I had the baby face, so I'd just say like, "Yeah, I'm 16," and they'd be like, "Okay, yeah, sure." So not saying that I exploited their Army golf course at all. Here we are. Go Army, beat Navy.
Here we are.
Thanks for the discounts.
All right, you and Adam are on board with Army, and I'm just rooting for points of any kind here. If I can get any kind. I'll take a safety. I'll take a blocked kick for a touchdown. I'll take anything at this point.
Sure.
All right. Tonight's NHL slate. We got to bring our producer back here, Adam Bernard, because got to get some hockey picks out for everyone. You know, we got NBA, we got football tonight, but got to give some NHL here. What do you got for us, Adam?
Well, one thing I won't be doing is giving out any unders tonight because I've touched that stove too much recently. So James gave plenty of unders for the night, even though there's unders that I actually like. No, I'm not going there tonight. No.
That's fair.
So let's start off with the game of the night. Patrick Kane is making his Red Wings debut at home against the Sharks tonight. That sound you heard out of the Midwest was every Blackhawk fan vomiting at the sight of him in a Red Wing jersey. That will happen once that game starts. Third highest scoring team in the league. You're getting one of the better goal scorers of recent times. And yes, he's not Patrick Kane of 10 years ago, but they're not asking him to do anything but to go out there and just do what he does best and score. The Sharks have been playing better over their last 8 games, but they're not a strong defensive team. Detroit is the third best offense in the league. I could see them overwhelming them offensively. They're also on a 3-game winning streak, and they've cleared the puck line in 5 of their last 6 wins, all of them better teams than San Jose. So let's take the Red Wings minus a puck and a half, minus 115 at Caesars.
Okay.
Shout out Patrick Kane.
Shout out Patrick Kane.
Ex-Ranger great, right? New York Ranger?
Yeah, well, I don't know if we call him a Ranger great, but yes, definitely an ex-Ranger. It was a nice move to make, but it wasn't what they really needed at the dad. That was more flash than substance for them at that point. Next pick we got, speaking of New York teams, the Islanders to win in 60 minutes at home versus Columbus. Islanders are looking to bounce back after a rough third period against the aforementioned Sharks. This was after 2 impressive road wins, so I think that third period against San Jose the other night was just a glitch. Columbus is on a 2-game losing streak. They blew a 3-0 second period lead to the Kings. And they did look good in their previous win against Ottawa, but they're such a pathetic franchise. I don't know if they can really handle more than 5 good periods in a row. So they got to go back to their old ways. And the goalie they're sending out tonight, Spencer Martin, has an underwhelming .876 save percentage, is 1-4 in his last 5, and he's playing behind the 9th worst offense in the league. I could see it being low scoring, which kind of scares me away from the puck line a little bit, but I like the Islanders to win minus in regulation, minus 115 bet MGM.
Columbus just catching a stray from Adam in that one.
That was we are shooting off strays left and right today. Holy cow.
The Blackhawks one wasn't really a stray. It was just, listen, I get it. Like, you see like a franchise icon go and skate in your most hated rivals team jersey. I get it.
That's fair.
And then you got a pick for Capitals and Stars tonight.
I do have a pick for the Capitals and the Stars tonight. Even though Dallas is the better team, I think they're catching the Stars at the right time. They're on a back-to-back after a 5-4 loss to the tough Panthers. Dallas could also be caught looking ahead here. They got a big matchup with Vegas on Saturday. Capitals are also starting Charlie Lindgren tonight, who should be getting the lion's share in the crease. But Capitals head coach Spencer Carberry insists on making it a tie share with Darcy Kemper. Lindgren, so he's catching some strays too. Lindgren is posting a 7-5-2 record with a .928 save percentage and .246 goals against. And this was also somebody that Christopher Moraes told you to go out and pick up in fantasy in a recent waiver wire article. So that's just another reason to go for the all-pro package there. Washington also getting some home cooking after a 5-game road trip. So getting them plus 118 on Caesars against a Dallas team that might be a little tired tonight. I think this is a good chance to maybe get some plus money.
Adam, I hear there's a hurricane rolling into Canada tonight.
I mean, that would be a first, I think, for like Alberta. Maybe not the coasts, but definitely for Cowtown. And now the Hurricanes coming in. They got smacked around last night by Edmonton. When teams that are coached by guys like Rod Brindamore get embarrassed in a game, and they got a game the next night, they are just chomping at the bit to go out and play some hockey. And the Flames are a much weaker team. Calgary's trotting out their third-string goalie, Dustin Wolf, who got called up this week, and Jacob Markstrom went down with a finger injury. You might think that's a weak thing, but for a goalie, that's kind of a big deal. So he's going to be out several weeks. The only game that Wolf played at the NHL level this year, he gave up 4 goals on 34 shots. If you want to go the safe route and take him on the money line, you can get the Canes at minus 125 or minus 135 on the book. But I think they tee off tonight against a Calgary team that just can't find their way. Plus 185 on Caesars.
Love it.
All right. A foursome of picks for the NHL tonight. I love it, Adam. Thank you, man.
It's a 13 game night. I feel like you got to, for every 4 games, you should give a pick. That's a good ratio to me.
That is a good ratio.
That's a good ratio. I gave out 1 pick for 1 college football game, but you know.
Yeah, but I mean, you had to pull teeth.
I've been.
I knew you weren't touching the team or the money. You weren't touching the spread of the money line.
We do have some FCS games like North Dakota State involved and all that. So I'm not touching any of those. I'll tell you that.
Shout out Carson Wentz. Shout out Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz. Shout out Trey Lance.
Ooh, I don't know nothing else.
Shout out Christian Watson.
Oh, okay. You're just
showing.
That's it. Oh, Dallas Goedert played somewhere. North Dakota.
Oh, we're showing off. Look at this.
South
Look
Dakota,
at this guy.
Maybe?
One of the Dakotas.
I think that's all I got now. That's all I got.
Well, that was impressive. I only had Carson Wentz. You
rattled them off.
I gotta say, I'll be honest. I've been distracted ever since we started talking about Scott Foster because I've been trying to find some kind of stat that says, you know, LeBron has this really good record with Scott Foster as the ref, but it could be just an instance where it doesn't matter and they just want the Lakers in the finals, so they put Scott Foster on there.
You are down the craziest rabbit hole, right? Scott Foster rabbit hole.
There's going to be a Scott Foster conspiracy theory page, and Servo's going to be the guy running it.
Oh my god. Servo is cross-referencing right now on both of his monitors. He has Scott Foster reffed Lakers games and then LeBron stats on this page. Like, okay, 35, 7, and 9, 20 free throws in that game. Interesting.
Yeah. The one link that keeps coming up, if you just Google Scott Foster and LeBron James, apparently LeBron bumped him by accident, like back in May of last season, and made Scott Foster bleed. So that keeps coming up. I don't know if that has any bearing on what's going to happen tonight, but see. Don Pla on YouTube here saying, "Take the Pels money line, baby. They will make the world believe tonight." We could see it. It's a tight spread. I mean, listen, it's pretty much a toss-up in my opinion. And the Pelicans are they could easily win this game outright. And then the Pats plus 5.5. Is that good? Don, early in the show, if you want to rewind a little bit on YouTube, I picked the Pats plus 6. I like them at plus 5.5. I like to you want to pay a little bit more for the plus 6, though. I think that's, it could be a 2 field goal lead or win. And who knows? Maybe a backdoor score to just get it to 6. But 5.5 is kind of like in that no man's territory, in my opinion. I like getting the 6 number. All right, so that's about it for us. James, awesome show today. Covered a little bit of everything in the sports world. Tomorrow we will be back here on Bettor Sports Betting. Me and Howard Bender giving out best bets for Sunday's games. Coming up tonight, we got 7 p.m. Eastern on Fantasy Alarm YouTube, the Thursday game day preview with John Pemba and Andrew Cooper. 7 p.m. Eastern on Bettor Sports Betting is the high stakes fantasy football show with Eric Balkman. And then tonight, the Bettor Cast at 8:20 kickoff for Patriots Steelers. So tune in there for the Bettor Cast with Howard Bender hosting things on that side. So all night long, enjoy the football, enjoy the NBA in-season tournament game. Pacers Bucks coming up right now, so get those bets in that James threw out, and we'll see you guys later.
Bettor Sports Betting on the Bettor